Welcome to Skin Deep here on Sirius XM Radio, Channel 141, HUR Voices. I'm your host, Sharrarne Morton, and I have a phenomenal and one-of-a-kind guest today. She is Chief Thelmetria Michaelides, the Fire Chief of Prince George's County, Maryland's Fire and Emergency Medical Services Department. Prince George's is the second most populous county in the entire state of Maryland and remains a premier destination for upwardly mobile Black families, which leads to high median incomes and luxury communities. And she is in charge of all of that when it comes to fire protection. Chief Michaelides was appointed by Prince George's County Executive Aisha Braveboy to lead the department of over 2,000 career and volunteer members. Chief Michaelides holds the distinction of being the first African-American female bomb technician in both Prince George's County and the state of Maryland, and only the second woman to do so in the entire state. So, as I always say, we're going to be doing more than just scratching the surface. Here on Skin Deep, we're talking all about the badass female bosses who don't want no smoke because she puts out all the fires. Okay, I got that from the young folks. You know how they always say, we don't want no smoke. By the way, if you want to reach out, email us at skindeepradioshow@gmail.com. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with information you just can't afford to miss here on Skin Deep. Welcome back to Skin Deep here on Sirius XM Radio, Channel 141, HUR Voices. As I mentioned before the break, I have Prince George's County Fire Chief Thelmetria Michaelides, the Fire Chief of Prince George's County, Maryland's Fire and Emergency Medical Services Department. And again, as we mentioned before, Chief Michaelides holds the distinction of being the first African-American female bomb technician in both Prince George's and the state of Maryland, and only the second woman to do so in the entire state. Welcome to Sirius XM Radio, Chief Michaelides. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Sharrarne.
So glad to see you. I met you about a month ago. I was like, okay, I have to have her on the show.
Yes.
I heard so many great things about you, and it was just amazing meeting you. And now you are here. So I want you to tell my audience, my nationwide audience, what does it mean to you personally and professionally to be the first African-American female bomb technician leading the Prince George's County Fire and EMS Department? What an honor.
Well, Sharrarne, that is an honor for me to be on your show today. And just so that you are aware, I think that being a female bomb tech is the most exciting thing for a lot of us Black females here in Prince George's County and across the state of Maryland as well. So what it means, shattering barriers, inspiring diversity in male-dominant fields, and bringing unique perspective, and can do leadership to challenge, the norms, paving the paths for other, while proudly serving the community with deep experience from being a 911 dispatcher to chief.
Wow.
Personally, it's a full circle, of course. Moments of breaking glass ceilings, while professionally, it signifies leadership built on a relentless questioning, learning, and high performance in every role.
Yeah. I mean, you've come a long way, and you've been doing this for more than, I think, 30 years, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I saw was it the 80s or the 90s? I want to get it right because you don't look your age. So.
So I started this job actually in 1987, and I retired in 2013. And then, as you know, I was appointed by County Executive Aisha Braveboy to be the next fire chief on June 30th. So I've been here close to about 6 months now.
In the fire chief role, but you've been in the fire safety realm for over 30 years.
Yes.
26 years.
26 years, but I never lost, contact with the fire services. I just stayed involved.
Yeah. Yeah. What made you interested in going into public safety, a public safety career?
So, most, what every, I want to say African-American female, so I come from like, a low income family, of course. And I was always inspired to become a doctor. And,
Oh,
times were tight, family just didn't have money. And of course, I went to school, I was in college, and I was actually recruited by one of the firefighters here in Prince George's County who's now retired. And, he said to me, he was like, hey, you want to be a doctor, you can come to Prince George's County Fire EMS department and do the same thing. And I was like, wow, are you serious? So he was like, it's a paramilitary organization. We have, several different jobs here in Prince George's County, which was, being an EMT to EMTP, being a firefighter, dispatching. I mean, it's everything, fire investigation, bomb tech. It's
yeah,
all so, hey, the money wasn't great, when I was a
right.
kid. And so it inspired me to come to the Prince George's County, especially because of the shift work, 24 hours you work and 72 hours off. So during the 72 hours, you can go and work part-time someplace, or you can work, overtime here in Prince George's County. So that's what inspired me, right? And I'm just hoping that, every female, see what I've done early on to where I am now.
Yeah. I'm sure you inspire lots of women and young girls. I'm sure you see them all the time or visit schools, and, for them to see you in the position that you're in. And then not only that, you're a bomb technician, excuse me. Tell us, what is a bomb technician? I mean, it sounds like you go and you make sure bombs don't go off. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. So I render the device safe. So you wear this gear. It's about 125 pounds.
Wow.
Just making sure that the scenes are safe, and then I'm looking around, right? Because when you're in this big suit,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like having tunnel vision. So you look straight ahead. So it's always think about safety first before I enter into the situation.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
and I can't talk, too much about it because, the background,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, yeah,
I want to keep it positive.
we take our hat off to you. Tell us, what was the defining moment in your career when you realized you were ready to lead at this level?
So there was never that aha moment where I would say, I knew I was ready. So my journey was long and unique, in the way I always looked for the next challenge, the barrier to break. So by doing this, I gained a wide set of knowledge and skills that collectively led me to this space.
Wow. Mm. And so I know in your area, my husband was a firefighter for 32 years in Washington, D.C., and he was also a volunteer firefighter in Prince George's County when he was younger. So I understand that there's, some mental health issues that sometimes accompanies what firemen and policemen do. How do you plan to support the mental health and wellness of the firefighters and first responders under your command?
So let me start off by saying that our firefighters and first responders, they're engaged in, the most stressful, occupational in the world.
Yeah,
Um, so when you add in the everyday stresses that everyone deals with, it can become overwhelming. Our department and our labor union offers programs and offers assistance and guidance to our members, and dealing with these type of issues and steps that they and their families can take, to help if these issues arises.
yeah,
Um, some of the specific programs that we offer in our department, we have the EAP counselors, we have our canine comfort dog, we have the local 16 fire association wellness center, and just recently we launched our cardiac wellness app that provides many tools to our members at the touch of a button. And I don't
wow.
know if you saw that video yet. So the video is out. So I did like a little brief description on, on the Cardico.
Okay. What is the Cardico? No, I haven't seen the video. What is that?
Well, I mean, it's like several different things, right? So it talk about mental health issues, how to deal with, you know,
Okay.
that sort of things. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really, really important because, like you said, that's a very stressful job. And I saw it firsthand with my husband and all the things that he saw. He was a 24 hours on, 72 hours off as well. So I appreciated him having those 72 hours off because he really needed to decompress. Because, like you said, there's a lot of stress that they go through.
Yeah, and 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 I hope that everyone takes advantage of that. I believe in having a mental health day, right?
Yeah.
Just like our civilians, they have to deal with issues too, right? So we often forget about our civilians. So I mean, that's why we give them one teleday a week, to woosah as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's important. Before we go to break, when we come back, I did want to ask you a safety question because we're right now in the middle of winter, and sometimes you have a lot of families using like space heaters and alternative heating sources, which can be dangerous. And so I just wanted you to maybe, when we come back, let our listeners hear like about some simple steps that they can take to prevent a fire or what they should do in terms of watching for signals that there's a dangerous situation and they should be calling the fire department immediately. I know you all run a lot of calls in the wintertime because people are using non-traditional or emergency heating methods, but we just want to make sure that if they're doing that, if there's a way to do it safely, we can hear that from you. So we're going to take a break, folks. We'll be right back after these messages right here on Sirius XM Radio, channel 141, HUR Voices. And we're back here on Skin Deep on Sirius XM Radio with Fire Chief Thelmetria Michaelides. And before the break, I was asking the chief if she could give us some tips on, how to prevent a fire, especially when it's cold outside. A lot of households are using non-traditional or emergency heating methods due to the cold weather. And we want to make sure that they are practicing safety when using these things. So what kind of tips can you give, Chief Michaelides?
So I want to talk about overloading power strips because often we stick our computers in there, we stick plugins in, and we have our phones. We have all these things hooked up. So
Mm-hmm.
never overload outlets and power strips. Use surge protectors and consider unplugging appliance when not in use. Use proprietary charges for lithium ion batteries. Do not charge overnight or when you are not at home.
Okay. I never thought about that, the power strips and how we need to be careful about overloading them. As a matter of fact, I need to check mine once we finish the show because I think I do have them overloaded. So that can cause a fire.
Yes, it can.
Okay. And what about space heaters or,
So, so when we're talking about space heaters, so we want to be very careful. So we use the 3 foot rule between space heaters and
Mhm.
furnace and fireplace. That means to stay, 3 feet back away, right? Do not go to sleep with the space heater on. We advise you to turn them off
Okay.
because what can happen is that to prevent illness and possibly death from, CO. So
Yeah.
have a certified technician to inspect all heating related equipment and dry vents too.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about that either. Okay. And CO is carbon monoxide, for my listeners who may not know. Is that right? Maybe
That's
I hope I have
correct.
that right.
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Can we talk about
Okay. And dryer
security
vent.
too? So
Yes.
yeah, I would love to give because a lot of our communities, they are into purchasing live trees, right? Because they smell good. So we just want to make
Mhm.
sure that you keep your tree stand filled with water. A dry Christmas tree can burn very hot and very fast. Do not place your tree
Mm.
next to vents or a heat source. When I say heat source, I'm talking about like a fireplace. They can dry out your tree faster. And turn off your holiday
Wow.
lights before going to bed or leaving your home. Because often, folks leave their holiday lights on, 24/7, and you don't want to do that because
Yeah.
lights burn out, and then you have a live tree, and that can also catch fire.
Wow. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, well, thank you so much for those tips, Chief. I hope listeners you heed the warnings and be very safe during this season. So, Chief Michaelides, Prince George's County is one of the most diverse counties in the nation. How does that influence your approach to leadership and community engagement?
Okay, so having to grow up in Prince George's County, I moved here when I was 12, and I won't tell you how old I am now. So I've been here for a very long time, 40 plus years.
Oh,
So
wow.
I am acutely aware of our diversity, and I understand that this will make us strong. I have always been active in our communities, whether it was leading in community engagement for then State's Attorney Aisha Brayboy, working on the state's vaccine equity task force, or leading various homeowners or school PTAs. I'm always focusing on our community, their needs, and how we best assist them. Since
Yeah.
becoming fire chief, I have stressed our focus on community engagement department wide. As a practice, we solicit feedback from our communities and ensure we are directly engaging in the community events and activities. For some reason, I heard I'm called the People's Chief
Okay, yes, because you're out there all the time. I mean,
all the time.
literally just met you a month ago, and I think I've seen you like 3 times since then. So you're out and about and engaging, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
People,
So, and the reason that I'm out in the community all the time because, one is that you, we're not just fighting fire or running emergency medical calls. We're
uh-huh.
also out in the community, providing resources.
Okay. Mhm. I know that a lot of times, in the past, I used to see a lot of the firefighters going around with smoke detectors to make certain people's smoke detectors were working, which is very important as well.
Mhm.
And you must be out 24/7 because to engage in the entire county requires a lot of work and energy. So yeah, you look like you're 30, so we're just gonna leave it at that. So I know you have the energy of a 30-year-old and you look like you're 30, so that's a good thing. So how do you plan to engage and inspire the next generation of firefighters, especially young girls who may see themselves in you? We want more female firefighters, right?
Sure, we do. I'm always looking for and advocating for more female firefighters. So this is a topic that I am extremely, passionate and knowledgeable about. I say this because in 2010, I started the high school cadet program, which was structured to engage, our high schoolers, level students, and introduce them to opportunities in the fire services. This was one of the first introduction to many females in the
Mm,
fire service. So
mhm.
I'm happy to continue my outreach by hosting a 2-day camp, Trailblazer, which we would kick off in June 2026 for girls ranging from the age of 12 to 18 years of age. So this program will be a hands-on training, teaching the girls how to do ladder work or how to extinguish a fire, use forcible entry tubes, and teach them CPR and so much more. So I'm
Yeah,
really excited about this.
that's great. My daughter went to Flowers High School and she was in the fire cadet program and she loved it.
Okay, what year was she in? the program?
She graduated in, I want to say 2019. You know, I'm getting old, so I can't remember everything, but this is
I
before
understand.
you, yeah.
Before,
But yeah,
yeah. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
she loved it. She did really well. The fire department is right across the street from the high school. So that was really good for hands-on. And she did really well. My husband was trying to convince her to become a firefighter. She said she didn't want to be a firefighter, but she did do EMT and she worked in the with the ambulance service. And then she went over to Doctors Community Hospital in the emergency room. So yeah, I uh, I would
Well,
love for her to meet you one day.
oh, absolutely. Well, it seemed like that she did gain some skills from us, which I'm very happy about. So, as long as that she's in the medical field, I'm good with that.
Yes, thank you. So we only have just like 2 or 3 more minutes, Chief Michaelides. I wanted to ask you this last question. What legacy do you hope to leave as fire chief, and how will you measure success during your tenure?
Oh, wow. So I will hope that I am remembered as a fire chief who care about everyone associated with the fire department, whether they're our members or career volunteers, their families, the loved ones, our civilian staff, and the citizen we serve. I
Mhm.
want to be remembered as the fire chief who made every decision based on their overall health and well-being. And what I always say is that success would be the measure collectively as a department, not by one singular person. As a department, we would be measured by how well we perform duties and the level of professional service we deliver to all of our citizens.
Yes, that's wonderful. That's a great legacy. Tell everyone how they can find out more about the Prince George's County Fire and EMS Department. Is there a website that folks can go to, or if they're interested in, becoming a firefighter, what should they do?
Absolutely join pgfd.com.
Oh, that's easy.
Yes.
PGFD. Okay, well, thank you so much, Chief Michaelides. Folks, that's it for now. I'm your host, Sharrarne Morton, with my superhero guest, Fire Chief Thelmetria Michaelides. I hope you take this information that we provided today and use it to grow your fire safety. You can hear this show on SiriusXM Radio, Channel 141 on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, as well as on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and all streaming platforms. And hit me up at skindyradioshow@gmail.com or check me out at Sharrarne Morton on IG and Facebook. Thanks again for tuning in on us that are skin deep.